like Nizal. Uh, I love how we start like that every time, like Nizal. That's how our videos start every time, and they're like, whoever watches this is probably like, what were what are you talking about? Anyway, um, we wanted to come on and do a probably quick video. It is late. It's not breaking news or anything, but the video, I'm sure everyone's seen it. If not, it's in the description. Saturn saying that he's going to be homeless in a week or two. We just kind of wanted to come on and talk about it. The whole situation. I don't know the full situation. What's going on? Obviously, if you look through his Wikipedia or know anything about his history, he has had drug problems and things like that. So that could be part of it. But the thing that kind of got me was, you know, he he was with the WWE until right until they changed over to from WWF to WWE. So he was injured right before they changed to the WWE, and then he was released. So he was released, but the thing that got me is, you know, WWE always says that they always help their, former superstars, and even guys that they released. There's guys that they help medically, whatever. My thing, my why what I was wondering is, why doesn't WWE kind of, step in and help him?
I thought the
Be,
exact same thing
I
today.
just it confused me, and I was like, it's not like, I mean, yes, he was released, but that's not. It was just because he was injured. They didn't have anything for him to do with him at the time. So rather than keep him hanging around, they released him. It wasn't like he did anything wrong. It wasn't like, it was just a circumstance. But yeah, that was the main thing that I kind of wanted to come on and talk about is, why isn't WWE stepping in to kind of even not, not pay off all his bills or whatever, or, buy him a new house, but help him get it on his feet. I mean, if this happened to a guy like Austin or Triple H or whatever, WWE would be right there. That's just kind of, it got me, and it kind of upset me a little bit. Because I liked, Perry Saturn wasn't one of my favorite wrestlers, but he was always one of those guys that was, you know good in the ring. He was good at whatever they threw at him. He took that kind of mentally not with it character that they gave him with the mop, and he ran with it. So he did what they asked of him. It was just, I don't know why they're not helping him. But any initial thoughts on the whole, since we kind of thought the similar?
Yeah, Perry Saturn for some reason was one of those guys that I always remembered. I don't know why, but for some reason he was just one of those guys that always came to mind. Especially when people come back, I think I said this before. I wonder why Perry Saturn never comes back. And I obviously I didn't know anything about what he was going through, anything like that. But as far as like WWE helping people out, like we see this a lot is the issue. Like you see this a lot, and I think if WWE helped these guys out, then that would basically help out with a lot of the losses that they get later on in life, or later on, more so, later on throughout their lives. They end up suing WWE for whatever issue that there may be. And if they help these guys, I feel like that would definitely help with that. And it's not like WWE doesn't have the money to help these guys out, or at least fund them a little bit. You don't have to like buy them a mansion, or even give them money, but I mean, you should still help in some way. Get them the help they need. Get I would say more so, pay their rent for them, because one of the things that I think I always think about is like you don't want to give them money because you never know what they'll actually do with it. So like I just feel like it's unfortunate because we see this a lot. I think who was it, Sabu, recently had to have an operation. I think it was on his hip, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Recently had to have an operation, and like I think it kind of sucks that they have to reach back out to the fans, which is fine. Like, those are the guys who supported them, and I know, wrestlers kind of hate to do it. But like, if they had, somewhere to go back to that could at least help them out and, get them back on their feet, like you said, I feel like that would definitely be a good thing. And I feel like WWE should create some sort of branch within their company that helps with that. I don't know what they should necessarily call it, to not make it sound like, you know, uh, I wouldn't necessarily call it like a benevolent type fund, but something like that, like where they just store extra money for those who need it, as far as especially those who were previously employed with them, and especially those with good standing, those with good standing, within the company.
I mean, it's just because it has been recently. It's been, like you said, Perry Saturn and Sabu, and I know Pro Wrestling Tees was kind of trying to raise money for Sabu with a T-shirt that they had, but and then again it goes to the fans. I'm sure all the fans want to help, but not all of us. Some of us are having financial problems ourselves, so we can't necessarily all the time give out of our own pockets. We would love to, except if you ask me for $5, and then no, but seriously, we would love to, but the company should at least help. That's the way I see it. I mean, and it is not something that's completely kind of a crazy thing that to think that they should do. I mean, there's other companies people work for, and they'll pay medical benefits, or even after you retire or after you leave, they'll pay for medical things. They'll retirement fund,
I
even if
know.
you set up some sort of like retirement or release fund or something like that.
Yeah, because I know like churches do it too. Like, you don't necessarily have to be like a member, a current member, or anything to like for someone to help you if you need it. But yeah, like I mean, I definitely think that would be a smart thing to do. Have some sort of like release or retirement fund or something. Because I feel like that would help a lot. With a lot of WWE's like legal issues just in general. Because like I feel like I don't think anyone would necessarily take advantage of it. Obviously, some people would probably try, but
Yeah, and I mean, if WWE went, did enough, research into, seeing if Perry Saturn legitimately is about to lose everything, or see like medical reports that Sabu legitimately needs, this surgery, then okay, give him the money. But if it's sketchy or something, yeah, I would say,
yeah, and it sucks too because like it feels like the superstars have to reach out to him. Like there's no like management that's reaching out to him because like even with like DDP Yoga, like if anyone of you have watched the Jake the Snake Roberts, the Jake the Snake documentary. Even the Scott Hall one, I think, too, had the same similar effect to it. But like it was so, it was so hard, yes, to reach out to those people, but like the lasting effect that it had, like even like something like DDP Yoga helped, it helped Jake the Snake get his life back on track, or at least get started, get him back on his feet, like you were saying. The same thing with Scott Hall. Scott Hall's a completely different man now. Obviously, he probably has the urges, but still, like he has, and I think that's kind of like what wrestling becomes, especially is like that support system. Um,
Yeah, and they say that they always help their current and former superstars, with medical, paying for surgeries and things like that. They didn't for Sabu, but I would think, and it's not even I would think I know that would have to fall under drug and alcohol problems. That would still be medical. You still go to for drugs and alcohol, you go to rehab, which is still a medical facility, so I don't understand how that wouldn't fall under them, helping medically. um and it feels like they're more, especially with WWE, it feels like they're just focusing on, concussion and neck, problems with their current and former superstars, which is a big issue. Um, Head injuries and neck injuries are a huge problem that they definitely need.
I definitely think drug issues are probably the one of the most common. Like you hear it from a lot of superstars, or former superstars or whatever. And I don't know, like I don't know if WWE would be opposed to like just starting a rehab themselves.
Yeah,
I'm sure they could hire the right people because I think because like I know a lot of people, especially like and like I've had friends who have been like depressed and they didn't really want to see someone who was a stranger. So like if they had something like within the company that you work for that you hold near and dear to your heart, it might be a little bit easier for them to commit, to going to rehab.
yeah, and I mean, even if, and this would kind of be, I don't know if DDP would want to do this, just because then it would be kind of WWE taking over his baby, his whatever, his company. But even if they brought in DDP, we've seen the awesome work he's done with Jake the Snake, with Scott Hall. There was another guy, that he had a documentary that like was really overweight and couldn't walk, and DDP got him walking again. So even if they brought DDP in and had that sort of rehab facility, whatever, and did DDP yoga, that would help. And also, then you could sell the DDP yoga DVDs on WWEshop.com. It's kind of a win-win for WWE, and for DDP as well, because I'm sure they would give him a cut of the sales. Obviously, superstars get a certain percentage of their t-shirt sales, whatever. So obviously he would get money, and it would probably get more sales of the DVDs. I don't know how well his sales are right now, just because wrestling fans, I feel like we all pretty much know about DDP yoga, but there are some that don't. And I mean, even it could even go into other places, after WWE, because WWE products are sold everywhere, especially Kmart. It's John Cena. Um, but yeah, I definitely think some sort of kind of rehab facility, they could definitely do. I mean, they have a multi-million-dollar performance center. Why can't they, have a rehab center or something like that?
Yeah, like even because I'm sure they have like people who have like worked with them before, who are doctors. I mean, you got Chris Nowinski who has helped them a lot with the concussion situation, I think, or at least giving them more information about it. So I mean, even if they did people like that, because I think I think it would be a lot easier to. They may not necessarily know them, but I think it would be a lot easier to trust if like, oh, he worked, that guy worked for the company before, she worked for the company before. They understand what I'm going through to a certain degree.
Yeah.
It's just sad, especially for a guy like Payseven. I didn't realize he was as bad off as he was.
Yeah.
Just at least physically. Because I like like I said, like he was one of those guys that I always thought about. I don't know why, but for some reason I always thought about him because I don't remember like a lot about his in-ring work or anything like that. But I just remember him. Like I remember him as a character and him on my TV, and especially on like the old SmackDown games. I remember him. I think he had like a loading screen with like a mop on it or something like that. But
Yeah.
but yeah, like I don't know. It's just sad. I guess.
Yeah. And it's kind of, just watching that video was sad, just because he's 50 now, I think. and he does look really like kind of bad off. The drugs or whatever have definitely affected him a lot. Obviously, financially, he's apparently going to be homeless soon, which sucks. Hopefully, people do donate to his GoFundMe. It took a lot. I for me, I gained a whole new respect for him just posting that video. A lot of people wouldn't have, would be too kind of prideful to lower yourself to asking for help, especially publicly, on Facebook. Um, so all the respect in the world to him. Um, you know, like I said, I hope people do, um, donate to his GoFundMe. I might put that also in the description if anyone wants to go.
Yeah, I mean, and when you look at it, like it's more like because he has one for his medical issues too. I mean, it might just be the same thing. And it might be one that they've had up for a while. I can't tell when they started it. They started this one. They started 3 months ago, so they might have certain ones, but like still, like even his medical issues, dementia, inability to drive or work, brain fog, so losing time, um, sensitivity to light, constant, almost pretty much constant headaches. So like there's a lot of issues that he's just going through just in general.
Yeah. And I guess his goal is 100K. They're at 35,000, a little over 35,000, which is a good, but I'm glad that at least people have donated that much. There's a lot of other GoFundMe's that for medical, issues that people have that, you know, barely get any donations.
Or Miley's GoFundMe for WrestleMania that got like $5.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go check on that. See how that did. Um, good job, Miley. I'm proud of you. But yeah, I'll probably put that link in the description if anyone does want to donate. But yeah, we just wanted to come on and kind of, I'm sure, nobody big will ever see this, but if somebody does, come on, like help out, your superstars or somebody, even if it's not WWE, somebody should set up some sort of, fund or foundation or something to help, you know, former wrestlers. That doesn't matter, WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, whatever company you work for, WCW. I think there should be some sort of, financial, institution or something to kind of help them out with medical stuff, because a lot of guys, especially, the pre kind of generation we're in now, where you were working almost every day of the year. They didn't have all these safety protocols, so all these guys have so many pre-existing injuries, and that's where a lot of the drug issues did come from, was pain medication. That was the only thing that they could do to kind of deal with the pain, was drugs. But somebody, I would wish somebody would set something up like that. But
Yeah, and guys like Chris Jericho and DDP have donated to Perry Saturns. I think Chris Jericho did 5,000, DDP did like 2 or 3,000, something like that.
Yeah, there was something about Jericho donated 5,000 to that. He donated a couple of thousand to something else. There was like a bunch of things that he recently donated to, which I was like, wow. He just made the list of the awesomest person in the world. Because yeah, that I'm surprised other guys haven't donated.
Oh, he made one for Rico.
Oh, okay. Um, but yeah, I think. Do you have anything else to add before we?
No, not really. It's just kind of a sad situation.
Yeah. But anyway, go donate if you can. Or if you can't donate, if you don't have the funds to, at least share the link, share the video, do whatever you can, because Perry Saturn, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. He had a mop. He had a mop. Uh, but follow us on Twitter, ICW_podcast. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, and all of our other fine content on the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast. We will see you on the flippity dippity. Oh yeah.